Warwick as well. Warwick is a storied, one of the most storied esports societies in the whole country. There's a time where they dominated everything, and there's
Mm.
more competition now than ever before. But they're a team which sets high expectations, and an Oregon is a very even playing field for both these teams to show us what they can actually do.
100%. And again, I think these are two universities where, when it comes to their esports culture, it comes to their esports community, they're very, very strong. It's not just across one title, it is multiple titles, time and time again. They're able to create these perfect teams that will work around synergy and also be very supportive of their university name as well. And that really does make for a good quality grassroots culture. And that's the thing that I like to see 100%. It is my life energy. We are going into Oregon. The bans already pretty standard, actually. The Flores coming through is pretty nifty. It's something we see nowadays. Again, you don't really have to deal with ADSs, why my magnets, if you're sending in a cheeky Flores drone. But that being banned out, it means we're going back to the old classic of sending in those flash grenades.
Yep, El Clasico as it comes in terms of the bands. Nothing too surprising, but it is Oregon. As much as I say it's an even playing field, I would say it's one of the I want to say least exciting of the maps. There's other maps which I think certainly bring the thunder a little bit more. That being said, uni players and Oregon is kind of a different breed. You get some. I remember quite a few moments of Vabs Reich just swinging out of buildings to try and take some engagements. And there we go. That is the Valkyrie to close it out. So Mirror and Valkyrie, pretty. I don't want to say standard, but certainly strong operators to remove makes a lot of sense. Thatcher as well,
Mm.
Flores. A lot of these operators, which I feel very much turn the attack on its head into how it's played. It's something that you are forced into considering how that operator impacts you.
Attackers need to locate
Most of
and
the other
defuse
ones still on the
bomb.
table are a little more, I want to say, passive in terms of their not necessarily their impact, but just how much they can completely change the meta of the round.
100%. Also, massive shout out once again to Amazon University. Again, prime student. Also, I believe their prize pool for this tournament also features some cheeky Amazon vouchers. And when it's getting close to that kind of, the hand-in season, the exam season, what better than to win this tournament, get yourself some cheeky little vouchers, and get yourself something nice for a job well done at the end of term. Beautiful stuff, Nobi.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And we sing the praises not just on Yule, but when we do Yukin and NPL, we keep singing these grassroots and how important they are to
100%.
the esports scene. And it's an absolute blessing for Amazon and the new and all the staff behind the scenes who put in the work to put these events on year in, year out. Because like we said, you get talent, we see the talent, we cast the talent in higher tournaments, and it comes from places right here in these kind of matches.
100%. Again, shout out to Reich for being a perfect example of that. For now, though, we see a little bit of Nenora going for a little bit of a roamy roam from the small tower. Again, I love the fact that they are going to be willing to apply this white stairs pressure as time goes on. It looks like a kind of attic push otherwise, but again, the additional dimension of pressure is what we like to see, especially when it comes to these more bread and butter takes like that. The line of sight being opened up by those little tin can openers and the additional crawl hole as well. It's an oldie, but a goldie, and that's really going to allow child consumer to look for these heads to start to take off.
Yeah, with the IQ and the AUG, long line of sight through attic, but Warwick very disciplined, and I'm always debating what's the best way to open a round. Do you just go full on send and go hyper aggressive, or do you play a bit more reserved? There's different philosophies towards it, and I respect both styles, especially when it comes to the execution. Warwick being very reserved right now, letting off his chairs get map control, but on the flip side, not necessarily giving them an opportunity in which they can try and get an advantage. Now, the Nook's going to be huge here in terms of trying to flush out any of the roamers potentially on the bottom floor. The Nook, it goes down. That Secret getting the first one. Inky comes around the corner, so it's a trade 1-for-1, but on different floors. And that gives Warwick a little bit of breathing room because now they can use that bottom floor to rotate round. Office chairs don't have that luxury anymore.
100%. You gotta hope, Novi, that they have some flank drones underway. Otherwise, this could get pretty spicy pretty quickly. There we go. Child Consumer taking a lot of damage there, assuming that is from those fires of the Goyo Volcan. For now, again, quite before the storm, Flanksy on a little bit of a, well, ironically, a flank here. Going all the way up Armory Stairs. It looks like South Bank is actually ready and waiting for him, though. So this could be a nice little 1 versus 1 engagement we see around the trophy area. Toxic Babe going out as well to hold off this push for as long as possible. Really good use of utility there by Office Chairs. But they really need to start to get a move on. Time is of the essence.
Ooh, interesting. Flanksy getting droned, but still managing to peek around the corner. And that's going to send alarm bells singing on the Keel side. They're kind of poised, ready for the push. And actually, that gives Flanksy an opportunity to come back round. Secret finds the second of the round. Flanksy goes down, but Secret with the third. That's huge. Nom finds another, but Bobby the mod, it's not enough. Secret closes it out. A 4K in the opening round. Beautiful stuff. And Warwick holding strong. I want to say a very comfortable, solid defense. Keel, when they got really into the thick of it, looked a little bit lost.
This is it. It's the idea that, you know, Warwick, they just had to kind of mind their P's and Q's there, right? It's delaying that timer down as long as possible. They had all that smoke utility in their pocket to just burn out the timer as long as possible on Attic. Again, Goldie but oldies. If you're taking that approach, 9 times out of 10, be it defense, probably take a similar approach on how they want to defend that area. I would have liked to see a bit more from the Nook, though. That push up white stairs can be so impactful, especially if you are able to clear out some of those roamers below. Again, I think it was Secret who was lurking around the kitchen area from the get-go. That could have been a really nice little, a spicy one, to be honest, for, I believe it was Child Consumer to get. That could have gone down really nice. Actually, it wasn't Child Consumer, it was Nora. There we go, Ninora. It was Nora.
Nora.
Impact.
Nora. It's a cool name, actually.
Ninora the Explorer. Always on that little
the
flankaroonie. Always on that flankaroonie. I think it's the thing. We see the Nora going on the flank again. I'm coining that. You're welcome.
Okay,
You're welcome.
I'll leave it to you. I'll let you use that line. That's fine.
Ninora the Explorer. I like it.
But Office Chairs, slightly different approach. No knock. It's the Iana instead with the Lion as well. So certainly applying that global pressure and then using the Iana to use her replicator, try and get a little bit more information. But that's something that Keel did seem to struggle on. They got their drones into the right places. They just failed to capitalize on that information coming into them. That's more of a communication issue than anything. At least they're managing to extinguish some of those toxic bays. That's a Twitch drone down as well. But I think Office Chairs, they're trying to draw a lot of pressure and utility already, and they'll be pretty happy with what they've already achieved. I know it's a very short period of time, but forcing a smoke to use one of the canisters this early, that's pretty good, and now the smoke is under pressure.
100% increase really got all of this breathing room now if they're able to really apply this pressure. Very good. The shield goes down too. Blizzard not willing to give it up though. Shotgun in hand. Gonna go for the swing around the corner of a little cheeky free fire. There we go. Inky falling down. No immediate trade-off at all because no one has been as confident as Inky to go for this engagement. They are very much held back now around this blue area. And this is where things could get a little bit tricky for some of these Dr. Chickens. Ready and waiting. Magnet in hand. He's gonna continuously burn out that timer. It's like a repeat of last time. There we go. Norman Dr. Chickens, one at peace. No immediate trade still. This isn't looking good for Office Chairs right now, Novi. They really need to get these trade-offs or really at least try and do something. The global goes out. That's going to allow Bobby a bit of breathing space here to start to contest towards this tower stairs. But look, ready and waiting for him. It is Flaxy there on the Azami. Often a common ban we do see nowadays because of how impactful that utility can be. Goes for a little bit of a whiff there. Does actually get the kill in the end and a flawless round there for Warwick Esports.
And in the kill feed, you might have seen Blizzard with the shotty pop up as well. And I'm frustrated by that one. Keel doing a good job at absorbing the utility. And they just one-on-one push a smoke who has a shotgun round a corner. There was the Iana replicator, there was the Lion drone as well, and then there was all the other drones that could have been used in that situation first, just to give a little bit more context and information for the person pushing. But that just wasn't the case, and because of that, Keel was essentially left in a 4 versus 5, and you could see their whole game plan just fell apart from the seams.
that's it. You know, multiple tiers. We talk about the importance of the 3-2-1s. You got to, if you're using global utility, you've got to be counting it down. You've got to have a strategy around that. Again, the shotgun swings. I think contesting a shotgun is when you really want the duo swing. To be honest, you don't want to give them the chance to like, you know, have that slight moment of recall. If someone does fall down, you need that trade almost instantaneously. If they would have got that, it allows so much breathing room. They have that crossfire bench, all the trees are sorted, an additional entry point into sight, then they can start contesting towards electric. For now, though, again, looks like they're going pretty by the book. They're breathing in the Jackal utility in combination with the Lion as well, and I do actually like that quite a bit. I think it's going to allow them to maybe get a lot more information. Maybe that's where they're seeing their issue right now. They just want to have the information and know exactly what they're going up against.
Yeah, they're cycling through these operators, and they're picking up the information operators, which is great. They've just got to use them as a team, not as individuals. That's the issue. Child Consumer uses the Gemini Replicator just around the corner to get a bit of information, so they'll know that at the end of the Showers corridor there will be one individual. But now, Keel, how do you utilize that information? They've got small tower control, they can push up, but they've still got to open that wall, and they don't know where the rest of Warwick is. And that's the issue with these one-dimensional takes, right, Grace? Is you could go, okay, we just open this wall, we go in and we plant. If you don't know where the rest of Warwick is, they can attack you from any angle they choose and take you by surprise. And that can, if you're already not communicating at 100%, that is just going to super punish you.
Beautiful shot there by Blizzard, though, taking out the Child Consumers. So again, that Gemini Replica utility all taken away from them now. A little bit of a quiet before the storm again. Opposite Chairs is really trying to find these lines of sight, trying to find an opening. They really need to deal with these players in Showers. If you get Showers control, you get Showers corridor control, that's when you can go for that execute. So their focus needs to really be there right now. Again, especially given they've got the EMPs in pocket and some cheeky smokes on the side of South Bank. Ooh, this is a little bit dangerous. Actually, we're seeing Lenora kind of go for it. They really want to just get stuck in, and there we go. Rightly so. Secret from the hatch takes them out. Very uncomfortable yet again for Office Chairs. We do see it down on Blizzard in that Showers area, but no one, again, is approaching to try and finish that off either. And this is where things could get taken very badly. There we go. Norm taking down Inky. It's all left down to South Park now. And Bobby the Mod. Don't forget Bobby the Mod, Novi. Again, two EMPs in pocket and still 2 charges on that Lion drone. Well, not for now. Nom's going to take him out nice and quick. And for South Park, a 1 versus 5. Could this be another flawless for the side of Warwick? Yes, it is.
Yep. Keel. I mean, they're making proactive plays, but Warwick is just so secure in their crossfires. Like you said, the key thing in that whole defensive setup, Showers control. Blizzard was entrenched in there, has control of the corridor to their opponent's defense or attack, and then come up with a strategy in which to counter it, essentially. Whether they're successful or not is a different idea, but you could see Keel was going, okay, we can kind of push into sight, but they didn't fully grasp the situation, and that's a worrying sign.
I just think again, it's there are some moments where it's like, you know, there is specific points. Like, again, I hate kitchen dining as a bomb site because of how easy it is to actually attack it. And it's some fundamentals slightly missing there on the side of Office Chairs. Again, the shower corridor, the shower control. That is your linchpin if you're going to try and take that. And it should be a relatively straightforward attack after the fact. So, yeah, Office Chairs, maybe they're just a little bit rattled. I don't know. Like, maybe it's just an off day for them. But they really need to start putting their socks up a little bit. Again, just going through the checklist, as we say, those 1, 2, 3s. Making sure that they're using every single thing they have in pocket as well. This is why it could be quite interesting, actually, that they're going for a little bit of a underneath take here with Nenora and Bobby. It's, again, Novi, this is the interesting thing. If they go below, clear the roam, it's like, okay, that's great, but you've still got Flanksy in the basement.
Yep. And it's something that, I mean, this is a hard one, right? You don't necessarily expect it, but that's why those sort of tactics work. And that's why we see a lot of pro league teams is they'll clear everything regardless of the site. They will go top to bottom, bottom to top, and work their way through. That's Blizzard picking up another one. to begin the round, but this time there is a trade. The IQ picking up Blizzard. Flanksy goes down, not able to get on the flank by Nonora. Very nicely done, the Jackal on that flank watch. And now, for the first time, Warwick is on the back foot.
This is it. Changing up a little bit seems to have worked for office chairs right now. Again, I do think that Child Consumer there did have a little bit of bullshit moment, actually tanking some of that Volcan to manage to get that kill. So, again, needs must, I suppose, if they want to try and win it by kills. And I guess that certainly is a strategy that they have to commit to. And Child Consumer certainly did. For now, a little bit of quiet before the storm, getting the little drone work going, getting as much information as possible. Nice little two-dimensional push can come here now from the eastern side. We've got 2 of them at the top of Armory, 2 of them coming through Attic. But again, if you are the side Warwick right now, you know that you don't have to worry too much about your back. Oh, Child Consumer on a very low bit of health, Nobi.
Yeah, that was the fade away from Dr. Chickens. It didn't quite connect the head, but that was beautiful little spray there. Child Consumer is going to think twice, almost headshots a teammate there. You can see doing the double take, swing around the corner. There we go. What was Nom looking at? Southbank goes down. Secret pulling out the shots. It's a 3-on-2. Child Consumer has to reload. Dr. Chickens goes aggressive. They go to war. Warwick is pulling out all the stops, and it's all on Bobby Boy. The last player standing for Keel against the very, very injured Smoke, but there is not enough time. Bobby has to send it. Bobby has to find the kills, but I don't think it's going to happen, and that's Warwick getting another round.
Well played indeed. Just knowing, you know what, they have to pick up the diffuser. The time is ticking. I'm on the tiniest nubbin of health. I'm not contesting it. I'm going to sit in my little corner, wait for him to come to me. Again, the idea there is that, you have to hunt out that final player. Diffusers in no man's land. They're probably holding the crossfire. It looked like they had a vague idea of where they were. So we saw Bobby kind of trying to find that line of sight, but it just wasn't quite there. That's another round on the board for the side of Warwick. Again, 4-0 already is pretty decent to go with. Again, like it's an interesting one. I feel like Keel, they've had a really good reputation in the past. Again, we talk about changing of guards. Keel are unfortunately a side that have had that constantly over the years. But with Warwick, again, Warwick always come in with a very, very solid plan, a very solid roster. So I feel like this isn't too surprising for me right now. And again, it does just look like Office Chair may be a little bit lacking on the fundamentals right now.
Yeah, it could be maybe with the new players coming in, just the attack's not quite gelling, but we're 5 weeks in. This really should be second nature at this point. Both these teams on the same amount of wins, I believe, as well. So, of course, a few changes to how the tournament structure works. So you play a lot wider range of teams. But yeah, it's leaving a lot left to be desired, right? From Keel. We expect more from this roster, and we see those splashes of brilliance. The last round there certainly showed a better side to them. Child Consumer, really clever play. Nora making sure that they were on the flank watch, that they knew Flanksy was going to come from somewhere. And it seemed like the pieces were starting to align. Yes, it fell apart at the end, but I want to see one more round like that before I fully discount this Keel side. They're showing that there's something there. I want to see if they can put it into practice now.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's it. And again, it's a shame sometimes that we, best of ones are the tricky one, aren't they? Because it's this idea of you don't really show up to the extent you could have. That's just unfortunately our loss. There's no way to pull that back. It's not like a best of 3 where you can be like, okay, second map will bring it back. And again, I think that's what concerns me slightly. Again, we've gone to an even Stevens playing field. We've gone to Oregon. This should be a lot closer in theory. And again, maybe that just shows how well Warwick are versed on this map. They know their fundamentals. They know exactly how they want to play. And even things where, to be honest, that last round, it looked like Keel were going to take it. It looked like Keel were finally going to get around on the board. And then it's just this split-second moment of, I don't actually have to contest this. I'm hiding. I'm just going to stay here. It's little things like that where you're like, no, you understand the game to that extent, Like, you understand that you don't have to go and contest it. And again, Keel right now, they need to go through their step-by-step. They need to go through their to-do list. You mentioned this in one of the rounds. I completely agree. They need to go through the step-by-step. Okay, it's this site. How do we want to approach it? maybe we go standard. What is the standard checklist we have there then? Again, the kitchen dining site should have been a freebie for them, and that was where my main concern is. Again, maybe it's just something they'll pull back on the defense, but only time will tell. You don't really want to let it get to 6-0 and then be like, we can pull it back now.
I think it's also the case of if things aren't going your way and it's a case going, oh, our plan isn't working, they're just destroying us, whatever. You got to think of it in terms of, okay, well, in the end of the day, Siege is an FPS, it's a shooter, right? You click heads, other team dies, you win. That's the kind of end of story. Yes, there's the objectives and everything. So maybe bring it right back to basics and go, okay, well, we know this player is here. Okay. Well, how can we get the highest percentage in a one-on-one fight? So instead of it being a 50-50 gunfight, we can leverage it to 60-40, 70-30, and really granularly find those small advantages and granularly lift the team up into a better winning position, because there are so many variables. You're not going to be able to tick everything off all at once. You're going to have to concede in some areas. So bring it down to what will have the highest impact in terms of success in the round, and just focusing on that core vehicle in which to try and get that round win.
100%. Again, what Warwick are doing is kind of pretty default, to be honest. It's very bread and butter. It's very basic. They're not bringing the old razzle dazzle. They're not doing anything particularly special here. They're just playing good, solid, old-fashioned Siege, and that's working for them. But at the same time, you should know how to bring the thunder here again. To be fair, hats off as well to Kiel. They're really playing into that meta of taking things like the Lion. You know, we've had those changes to the secondary gadgets. We now have those EMPs in pocket, and Lion can be such a good, operator to bring. Also, the Dokkaebi as well. They do want to mix it up. I do understand the comfortability of taking the Lion over the Dokkaebi, though. I think some people really do just have the feelers out a lot more when it comes to that Lion. The Azami utility, though, again, is a ban that we often see nowadays. I'm surprised by that too, but well, that was a little bit surprising. But that's gotta feel good. Nanora taking the head clean off Flanksy, so they don't have to deal with that little bit of a pickle flanker-rooney coming through in the late round. We've often seen Flanksy go for things like that, go for those big extended roams, and no chance of that now, Novi.
And this is a great position to be in. As soon as you're in a 5 versus 4, you can essentially have someone on cams, and you're not losing anything in terms of firepower. It's still a 4-on-4. Or Nanora could just push straight on through. A player goes down, but no! Wing across. That's a 2K. Looking for the third. This is disastrous for Kiel. And it's all falling apart. It looks so good, Grace. The Nora was doing bits, but it just doesn't seem enough. Nom finds the third. Secret follows it up, and we've seen this tale before. The office chairs just not built strong enough to crumble under the weight of the Warwick esports side. The castle is crushing them down. And the office chairs, I think there might be a return back to an Amazon warehouse. I think that their Warwick has well and truly destroyed that package and are going to send them packing.
That was a huge round from Nom, though. Nom nomming up those kills like it was the nomniest Nom he ever did. Nom, we love to see it. Again, though, the fact that office chairs, they went for something different. I love the bullshiness of being like, let's go direct. Nothing's really working out right now. Let's try something a little bit spicy, a little bit off guard. And that's exactly what they did. But it was just a fact of as soon as they got all that control, you could have tried to stick the plan, be a bit sneaky with it, pull in a duo push. They did attempt that duo push, but again, because of that, it alerted Nom, who then just shut down all of that control, all of that pressure, cheeky pressure at that, but still pressure nonetheless. My heart breaks off this Jazz right now. Goodness me.
Yeah, there's these good moments, really, really good, bright moments, but it's just not enough to sustain themselves. And let's say it's not over. It's Warwick certainly have the advantage, but if office chairs can pick one up here, just raise that morale, and then we switch to defense. There's an opportunity there, and the fact that they were 4-0 and still sending it, still going for it, is a good sign for Kiel. That's a very, very good sign. They're not just rolling over and dying. But for each round that they lose, they make that comeback even more insurmountable for them. So they need to start getting points on the board ASAP.
100%. Looking for something slightly different, doing my best Monty Python impression here. It looks like they're going to go for the rear stage take, and something I haven't seen in many, many moons, to be honest. Again, this idea of taking all that meeting control, opening up that wall into kitchen, and that's basically your point of entry. At the same time, you're going to hope to cut off a lot of this upstairs pressure as well that could bite you later on. Again, we saw how impactful the hatch can be in that kids' dorm area. So maybe there'll be a bit of pressure applied to the defense to really force them back into that kitchen site. Again, bit of a tricky one, though, if that's where you want your execute to be. So these kills need to come through from office chairs. And that's what I find quite surprising here, is that there really is the reliance of being able to take out some of these players here. Office chairs certainly feeling themselves. Let's see if they can commit to this.
And Warwick have noticed it's coming from a different area. They haven't fully pivoted everybody over. They've certainly turned their sights towards it. It definitely doesn't seem to be what they were expecting. Not necessarily, especially with that top floor players. They were positioned further back towards small tower. But now they're making the best of the situation. They've started to open up the wall, and they'll send in the Gemini replicator to get a bit of information. And here's the classic, the Osa. Walk in with the shield, almost like a Monty, plant it down, or even turn around and plant, smoke and plant. And he can maybe get something going. The smoke's on those thermites, so they might look for that cheeky little diffuse and just pull the trigger. But no, Keel has been so good around those corners, but Inky, it's just not enough. Child Consumer again getting burnt, throws out the frag grenade, but it's not going to connect. The Nora goes down, gets nommed up. Dr. Chickens is sending out the flames. Warwick Esports, very comfortable position, tapping through the floor. Nom gets another one onto Child Consumer. Death from above, looks for a third. Doesn't quite connect. Bobby hits the deck and manages to get out with their life. But very, very close. 5-0 with a 5 versus 2 situation with 30 seconds left.
The issue, South Park in an uncomfortable position right now. Ideally needs to move towards split, rightfully so. That is what they have done here. But Flanksy, yet again on the flank, trying to take them out. Maybe a bit of duo play, but Secret is fair. Duo plays off their road, and Warwick once again. The duo comes through, and that is them pushing this to match point. And it's such a comfortable match point, Novi. Once again, my heart really goes out to office chairs because goodness me, this is not pretty.
No, not at all. With Warwick, it's a dominant showing. More accurately, a dominant performance that maybe some of the other teams in that top end are going to be looking to this going, oh, Christ, we didn't quite realize Warwick were that good. So, you know, fair play to them. But this is the attack. This is, I'd say, the more complex, especially in terms of coordination, to get everyone on the same page. We saw that was one of Keel's downfalls. Let's see if Warwick can do what Keel failed to do on their half.
100%. This is their redeeming time now to bring something special. Love that they brought the alibi. Again, it's something we're seeing. To be honest, it's something we're actually seeing a lot of lately. We've seen it all year. It really is becoming a nice little off pick for a lot of teams, especially in that T1, T2, even T3. So again, I'm really happy to see Child Consumer on the alibi right now. Beautiful pieces of utility, really can be used to bait out some of these more aggressive players who aren't doing their droning right. And I think, you know, we do have players who are being aggressive. I mean, look at that. Secret is on 10-2 right now. Absolutely going wild with it. 8-2 on Nom as well. Those two as a duo, it's just working so well. They could potentially get caught off guard by this. They see the head, they go for the flickaroonie. Their, you know, positioning is pinged out to the rest of the defense. Let's see how it goes, though. Again, we can talk about theory till the cows come home. It's whether the proof is in the pudding. Can office chairs make this lineup work now, or will they be going home a little bit empty-handed?
Ooh, Nora, the timing. Swings out of freezer stairs. Well, I say swing, sort of slowly crawls out just as someone was going up white stairs in the form of Secret. Secret covering a lot of ground. The steps should have been heard there. So this could be very dangerous. Nanura is getting droned out. So position heard, backs off from that position, backs into Freezer to try and escape. But Flanksy getting a little bit more information. And that will send Secret down to potentially contest. There's still, you seem quite hesitant just in case there is someone else around. But now Warwick is really so quickly knocking on the door of the Keel side. There's already someone on the main lobby stairs. Freezer stairs, I'm sure, is going to fall next. Keel might be under pressure way quicker in a round than they bargained.
100%. It's difficult. That should start to come through now. Nom desperately looking for the head of someone in Laundry. Isn't going to quite find it yet. Looks like we're going to have Flanksy come to join Secret and Co as well. Looks like also a bit of pressure towards Tower is going to come through as well. This is a really nice setup. They've got so much time to work with. If they can get this, yeah, there we go, frontal control and even a flank at the back, they are about to indeed get Flanksy, I believe it was. That could be a massive.
50 seconds, drone goes in. Secret finds the first. That's the Jaeger taken out in the form of Nanora. Keel holding strong, biding their time. They've still got this sort of, I want to say a firm square that they've got of crossfires, where there's at least one other player who can identify the position. That was a huge chunk of damage. Nom just to hold this position, but Inky going pro with the SMG-11 gets rolled by Secret. Secret gets another one before going down, but there's two players down but not out for Warwick Esports. One gets picked up, Southbank, last player alive for Keel. No one to support him. Plant still needs to go down. He can potentially deny this, taps away, but there we go. Warwick take it, finding the kill in the last few seconds. And that is a 7-0 victory for Warwick Esports. Very impressive stuff.
100%. And again, Secret, goodness gracious me, a 1.71 KPR for that match alone. Again, a 7-1 victory in a KPR like that. You're doing phenomenal work. So well done, Secret, and well done the rest of Warwick. The Wolves are back in town, Novi, and that's the things we like to see. Again, my heart really goes out to Keel. That was so unfortunate for them. I think definitely a chance to go back to the drawing board there and just work out some of those fundamentals, some of those basic bread and butter strategies. You know, our checklists, our 3-2-1s, how are we going to approach this next time? The only way is up when it comes to this, and even failure is always a learning experience. So GG's both.
Yeah, there's a lot that can be taken from that. I've got to say, I think maybe Oregon was a poor choice, maybe gearing it towards something where it's less free flowing and there's less variables. You can really hone in on the attack. It's a little more linear. I remember Jake Southster, ex-Swansea player, you know, coach for Victus, when he had to sub in, we asked him in an interview, why did you pick Villa? And he goes, oh, the attacks are super linear. So for me to come in an IGL, very simple and easy to do. And so maybe it's bringing back to that. And don't try and go for the fancy strats. Back to basics. Pick maps that you can essentially perform really well on as a team. And once you get those down, once you get the fundamentals really nice and crisp, then you take them out the oven and you pass them into the kitchen on Oregon and see what happens. But Grace, I think that was I know we like a good strong performance by a team, but hopefully our next game of the night, Grace, will be a little bit closer. You know,
a little bit closer indeed. Again, we're not sure who we're quite seeing just yet, but we'll get that information to you as soon as we can. I do believe though, Novi, that was a little bit flustering. So I think we need a little bit of break. I'm sure you guys at home do too. We will be right back after a quick little break. Do not go anywhere.
I live 17 floors up, and when it rains, I can feel those drops in my window pane. Lets me know that I'm still here. But when the sun comes out, I will go outside. When it breaks through clouds, I will give a smile. Lets me know that I'm still here. Sometimes I want to run away, to find good times again, to find all my old friends. Times I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and good times. I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and up, and when I cry, I can see this city through my watered eyes. Lets me know that I'm still here. When my eyes clear up, I will go outside. I'll imagine you're still by my side. Lets me know that I'm still here. Sometimes I want to run away, to find good times again, to find all my old friends. Run away, to the nearest place where I'll find all my old friends. Good times, I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and good times, I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and good times. I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and this town with the speakers loud and the radio playing old Sublime that we stole online, every verse we know. And we hadn't had a clue if we'd make it by noon or even where we'd go. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. We don't need a map, everywhere. The tank said E and we all agree that we're just too broke to fill it back up, so we left your truck on the road with Rome. Then we found a motel with a cigarette smell, so we knew we're close. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. Is where I can find some peace of mind to make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road. But don't get left behind on the road. Don't get left behind on the road. Don't get left behind on the road. We play Tupac, Shellac, and we turn our music up when he raps about hope. We hold our thumbs high and hope someone is kind enough to give us all a ride. we wouldn't have a clue if we'd make it back to or even where we'd go. But we don't need a map, everywhere is home. A Ford stopped on the street, said where you trying to be. We said we don't really care, we'll know it when we're there. We took on down the road, he flipped on his radio. Santeria started slow, so we knew that we were close. Home is where I can find some peace of mind to make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road. 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 Home is where I can find some peace of mind to make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road. I live 17 floors up, and when it rains I can feel those drops in my window pane. Lets me know that I'm still here. When the sun comes out, I will go outside. When it breaks through clouds, I will give a smile. Lets me know that I'm still here. Sometimes I want to run away, to find good times again, to find all my old friends. Times I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and good times. I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and up, and when I cry, I can see this city through my watered eyes. Lets me know that I'm still here. When my eyes clear up, I will go outside. I'll imagine you're still by my side. Lets me know that I'm still here. Sometimes I want to run away, to find good times again, to find all my old friends. Run away, to the nearest place where I'll find all my old friends. Times I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and good times. I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and good times. I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and this town with the speakers loud and the radio playing old Sublime that we stole online, every verse we know. And we hadn't had a clue if we'd make it by noon or even where we'd go. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. We don't need a map, everywhere. The tank said E and we all agree that we're just too broke to fill it back up, so we left your truck on the road with Rome. Then we found a motel with a cigarette smell, so we knew we're close. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. Is where I can find some peace of mind to make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road. But don't get left behind on the road. Don't get left behind on the road. Don't get left behind on the road. We played Tupac, Shellac, and we turn our music up when he raps about hope. We hold our thumbs high and hope someone is kind enough to give us all a ride. And we wouldn't have a clue if we'd make it back to or even where we'd go. We We don't need a map, everywhere is home. A Ford stopped on the street, said where you trying to be. We said we don't really care, we'll know it when we're there. We took on down the road, he flipped on his radio. Santeria started slow, so we knew that we were close. Home is where I can find some peace of mind to make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road. 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 Home is where I can find some peace of mind to make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to week 5 of the Newell's Rainbow Six Siege esports tournament. We have, I want to say, a bit of a disappointing game. The first one, Grace, we were wanting, we're hoping the chefs would cook us up something a little bit spicier, a little bit hotter.
A little
And they-
bit. mm,
A little bit what? What were you about to say?
A little bit. I was going to say a little bit less Kardashian salad box and kind of do this
Yes,
motion. But
exactly.
yeah.
Something with some sustenance for us to really sink our teeth into. And they have blessed us with one of these teams is very dear to your heart, Grace.
Yeah, obviously, Pew Pew, Staffs University. I am Staffs alumni. Yeah, Staffs as a university once again
Staffs.
consistently this is the thing, consistently pumping out good siege rosters.
Yeah.
I think even as time goes on, people keep going to Staffs and ending up joining who've already had a stint within, Rainbow Six competitive scene. Players like Divided, as an example. I think Divided is actually listed on the roster for Staffs at the moment for the kind of annual LSE situations, but Divided otherwise is pretty had a pretty good run this year when it comes to the various competitive circuits, things like NPL as an example, but the CL, it's been really, really good stuff to say. Again, often we do expect that these grassroots players go on to bigger and better things, so it's nice to also see that kind of reverse. I think Cyber actually, who will be playing shortly, I think he actually was playing comp before he came to Staffs as well. So it's this constant weird swing that Staffs seem to get. People start at Staffs, go into esports, or they go into esports and then end up at Staffs. So it's Staffs and esports, two beautiful combinations, like some vinegar on your fish and chips. We are going to Border though, Novi, which, again, speaking of Staffs Uni, it's nostalgic for me. Of course, we have had changes to Border. Still arguably, in my opinion, very, very, very good map, though. Again, you do have those rotations now between the east stairs and the kind of, CC area and that break room. And that can be quite difficult. That can mean a few sneaky little surprises can certainly come through. But going against Staffs will indeed be Aberdeen University, Novi.
Yes, Aberdeen coming in here definitely as the underdogs. No offense, Aberdeen, but like we said, Staffs not only have the history behind them, they have the roster to back it up. There are some class players on here, so this is going to be an uphill battle. Thankfully, they have gifted us. Both teams have gifted us a not a plowman sandwich, but something with sustenance. What would you say is the most interesting sandwich you can think of off the top of your head?
Do you know what? Like a meal deal that's like it's like this all day vegan breakfast, and it's just filled with like deliciousness.
Oh, so like a breakfast sandwich kind
It's
of.
like a breakfast sandwich. You got a bit of
Mm,
sausage in
mm.
there. You got a bit of
Ooh.
like this weird, like it's like a paste situation with like fake
Hey.
chicken in it, and like a bit
Okay.
of like it's real good though. It's real good. High protein, high fat. It's what you need.
High protein, high fat. What you need for gains,
Exactly,
and that's what
gains
Border
in.
gives. Border gives gains.
Border gives gains, exactly. That's what we want. We want those gains. Speaking of gains, Aberdeen coming off the bat, taking away Ace. I'm wondering if that's because they want to get a little bit up close and personal when it comes to how they're going to counteract this hard breach utility. They are indeed starting on the defense. Now you're really going to have to rely on those Habanas or even indeed the Thermite. Remember, with the Thermite, you're very static. So apart from if you're going for that arm retake, 9 times out of 10, you've got to be careful of your footsies. But Staffs being a little bit freaky with it there. They're going to ban out actually the Thermite, and I am already furrowing my eyebrows at them, and I know that they can imagine I'm furrowing my eyebrows at them, so sometimes it be like that, Novi. Valkyrie being banned out is a pretty standard ban, though, so that's them being sensible sandwiches. Let's see what Aberdeen do for their last ban. Again, this is really interesting because remember, nowadays we do have those secondary hard breaches, those tin can openers in pocket. We also still technically have the Habana on the board. So if Pew Pew want to bring hard breach, there's still loads of room around that. And of course, not only do you get those hard breach in secondaries in your pocket too, you also get those all-important EMP grenades now. So gorgeous, gorgeous stuff we could go into.
Yeah, interesting one. Pew Pew leaving Thatcher up. Like you said, EMPs are still readily available, but still interesting. And they're one of those teams where you can guarantee that they practice without it. They're happy running it or not. They're actually choosing to run the Kali. We'll see if it gets picked out. Let's have a look at the defense. That's the more, I want to say, interesting point of view for Aberdeen. We set them up. They are the underdogs in this game, in this round, especially against Staffs. Staffs we know will frag out even on attack. It's not really a weakness for them. There's a lot of depth and experience in this team. So we're looking for clear, clean fundamentals. A pretty standard lineup. They're bringing a lot of utility across the board, a soft destruction. The one thing that's catching my eye, though, is that Doc with the P90, Grace. That is I don't know whether I'm feeling it or I should be ashamed that I'm seeing it in the game. I don't know. I don't know where I sit on the whole Doc in this sort of scenario.
Depending on what you're expecting, the Doc can be really good for holding points of the map where you are expecting a lot of utility to be thrown in your direction. You know, that you typically, when Consulate was a big feature within the map pool, we used to see a lot of that, you know, top yellow hold coming through when it came to that Doc utility. You could just keep, boosting your health back up essentially and going for those peaks onto the window. Nowadays, we're also seeing that being utilized as well. Recently in CL, we saw it being used to deal with actually some Capto bolts. But speaking of dealing with, Max getting dealt with pretty quickly there, and rightfully so. Was the Doc to do it? They're just going to heal themselves nice up and quick. That's going to be a bit of an unfortunate one. The buck off the board as well, so that skeleton key can't be used if they want to go for that downstairs rotation later on. But they can use, however, is Cyber here. The breaching round, but that's going to actually be shut down there by Oliver.
Interesting. It's a bit critical about the Doc. It's usually, I'd say, Doc's a kind of operator you take if you've got a player who's feeling it, who can go for those engagements, and that is exactly what Aberdeen is doing. And we taught Staffs up so much, but Aberdeen's certainly taking the initiative, not afraid to swing this team. He's one of the top seeds in the whole of the University UK siege scene. Vartic C gets another Sinir. Oh my lord. There we go. The Doc bringing it home, clinching the round. And that's Aberdeen going 1-0 up. So, interesting stuff. Certainly bucking the expectation, but early days. Early days, Grace. It's a best of one. I want to see Aberdeen repeat that performance a couple more times before I start getting on the Aberdeen hype train.
The thing is, too, I think what staffs are pretty much doing is the fact that they're going to go for something a bit more experimental, the takes that they're making. You know, we saw Cyber instantaneously getting up close and personal. The line of sight was already being held all the way from the back of Armory. So it's like, well, maybe clearance a little bit first would be helpful there. Bait into some of these roamy kind of style engagements where you find people offside, get the kill, and then you're alleviating that pressure on the site. So if you want to go a bit direct, then that's the opportunity to do so. It's an interesting one, really. Again, oh, what were you saying? There's maybe a little bit of a bug here, but we'll see how that goes. It'll also default to one of them anyway, so it shouldn't be too bad.
I think, yeah, I think Pew were going for that shock and awe that we know them so much, where they just full on run in, take the gunfights. You can see Max.
They were trying to be flashy. They were trying to.
Yeah, they're trying to go flashy. Little Punto, we'll call it Max, you know, because that's his name. But he just ran in and he was just trying to run and gun, and he got a kill. But then immediately the trade was there. Aberdeen were braced for that tide wave. It was going to crash into them, and they were strong. They stood fast. Pew kind of, I don't think they were quite expecting that level of play, that crossfire setup, but this is the real test. Now they've had that flavor and they go, that won't work. Oh, that was it. Very unfortunate for the Doc. That's a big player removed before. The player who got 2 kills in the previous round is now no longer available, and this is what we're expecting. Cyber pops in for Vartexy, and that's 3 versus 5. Pew making quick work of the Aberdeen side.
100%. We're really looking for these players in the office area. Not sure if Cyber is aware of one either side. Well, now he certainly will. That bullet trail giving it away, but that also gives away for the pinch. Max and JJ taking them down, and now it's all left down to poor Mackie in a 1 versus 5, and this is going to become a 1 versus 5 post back because that diffuser is down on the ground. Can they find at least one head? There we go. There's Cyber. That call out should come through, and they can guess vaguely where he might be coming from. Can they get the second one through the wall? No, they can't, because JJ has got sharp eyes and a sharper aim. There we go. Okay.
Staffs. I said I wanted to see Aberdeen repeat it, but Staffs. That was just, that was very, very tasty performance. JJ showing us what he can do. Cyber showing us what he can do. Even Max chiming in as well. Just all round good performance from the Pew side, the Staff side. Aberdeen, we said, okay, they're braced for that aggression. Maybe we spoke too soon, because that was certainly a Staff-sided round. As soon as they got that advantage, this time it wasn't traded, and then they could push it further and further and further and further. And that's the thing, you know, if you're not set up, if you're not ready to get that trade kill and just slow a team like Staffordshire down, that confidence is so dangerous when they wear it.
100%. I think they're trying to be cheeky with that first round. Again, we often do say, though, if you're going to try something cheeky, it needs to be in the first round. You have the breathing room for mistakes in that first round. Again, Pew bringing that back to an even Steven scoreline, that's certainly going to hopefully benefit them a little bit. Okay, maybe if we go a little bit more structured, it works out a lot better for us here. Aberdeen, though, again, the compositions that they're bringing right now, we see Mackie there on the Warden, and that's really interesting to see too. I guess they're expecting maybe a bit of a flash rush to come through. Again, very situational. A lot of the operators Aberdeen are coming out with are these very situational kind of operators that you bring. So it's this idea that, are they reading into something they've seen staffs do previously, as an example?
Okay, Hibana, ex-Kairos on Armory Door. There we go. Max hopping in for the first. Mackie valiantly tries to present it. Oh, death from above. Drops down the floor. He's now stuck between a rock and a hard place, but doesn't really matter. Can just hold on to the position. He's actually going to go more aggressive here. Well, SN started to take heads. JJ as well chiming in. Staff's dominating. Max Sandy at least manages to get one back for Cyber. Chimes in again. It's a 5-for-1. Another round goes the way of Staffs. Very dominating performance. Aberdeen, look like they've got their work cut out.
100%. Good to see, really. Again, the thing is with the Staffs roster is it is packed full of players who've been around the block a bit. Rightfully so. That's why they are going to have these little nutty moments here, there, and everywhere. We're seeing some banter and chat about the wall bangs we have indeed been seeing. Max himself too, despite the fact that, you know, I think he does a lot of actual production work, to be honest. But behind the scenes, he's actually a very capable player. And again, Novi, he's had to deal with my coaching before, so that certainly is something you got to take your hats off to, because I'm not the easiest person to work with.
Grace, you're doing yourself a disservice.
I have a very authoritarian way of approaching things at times. Let's put it that way.
I would put it as you are always up for a spirited debate. That's how I would phrase it. I remember deliberately goading you into the whole kitchen meeting. What's the? I can't even remember the other site because no one bloody picks it.
Kitchen meeting or kitchen dining on Oregon. Yeah.
That's it. That's a kitchen dining or kitchen meeting. You go, well, I don't get why they're picking kitchen dining. They're really not picking kitchen dining, and you get like more and more angry about it. I'll consistently pick it up, but it's one of those
things.
It's
my kryptonite. I'll be fine until someone goes to that site. We saw that on map number 1 actually. I was getting very cross about it. Ooh, this is a nice little setup we see. Cyber ready and waiting again. As soon as some of that pressure is alleviated or starting to be applied from this office side, that sandwich window is going to have a little bit of the old shebang. Cyber should come crashing through it, but for now, actually, Aberdeen really holding on by the skin of their teeth. But here we go. Cyber is getting stuck in. Vaxity falling down, as does Max Sandy, and it's a 2 versus 3 now for the side of Aberdeen. They've got the glass on the table as well. This can get nasty very quickly, but there we go. Elizabeth is actually able to take down Cypher. That right below just a little bit. A 2 versus 2. Nate not really being able to utilize any of these smokes anymore, as he has indeed run out. So again, the quick picks need to come through, but there we go. There is one to Oliver. Sonia, all left down to you now. The plant is going down. JJ should be holding it. Holding it from Armory is just appears to be. There we go. He's able to go for the wall bang, and it's good stuff.
Thought for a second. I believed for a second, but didn't come to fruition. That is Staffs picking up another round. That's 3-1, I believe. And Aberdeen falling by the wayside. PP seems to have their number. One thing consistently, Little Punto, Max goes in first through the door. Usually dies, usually gets traded, but almost always, in fact, I think every single round, he takes someone with him every single time. And that relentless pressure on top of Aberdeen losing someone so early on, every single time, every single round, like they will 100% take a 5 versus 5 over a 4 versus 4 any day of the week. And the fact that they're always consistently forced into a 4 versus 4, you can see how uncomfortable it makes them in terms of trying to set up those crossfires because they are a man down.
I think this is an interesting thing too, but I just want to take a second to actually compliment Aberdeen